Chris Bryant from Parametric. I just wonder whether the board is probably clearly this is a board who broadly supports climate change. I worry with up to 50% of Americans, for example, totally, genuinely not believing it, whether the board has adequately considered the risk of members who might well be your most wealthy members most likely to go off to SMSFs, and therefore the scale issues that Gary mentions, whether the board has thought about the potential implications of being a leader in this space and just how you think about that risk of losing members from doing something that's entirely rational, that completely makes sense, because members, as noted recently, are not necessarily rational beings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. I mean, I'm personally a supporter of action on climate change, but at the same time, though, I support action more focused in the government space. Like, I think this is a place that government should be more active on than what we're used to, at least. You know, looks like we're going to have to get used to in the next medium term ahead of us. And I think there's a real risk for industry super funds in the way that they approach these issues, because they will be seen as being bleeding hearts, taking action ahead of the game and running the risk of some members forming a view that, philosophy is winning out to just a more hard-nosed look at investment returns.
The other way of looking at that question, though, too, is what a fantastic opportunity. If the market is actually set and values have been set on the basis of 50% ignorance in the most powerful and richest nation on earth, what an opportunity to actually anticipate that position becoming less ignorant in the future. That's not a bad bet, that's not a bad bet. I think I would probably take that bet and say the market's been set for that level of understanding, and that level of understanding likely, may not after all, certain institutions, suppress the idea that the sun might be the centre of our solar system rather than the Earth. That was suppressed for hundreds of years. So it's possible they may not get smarter quicker, but on balance you'd expect that knowledge to change and improve. And as it does, the market moves to it and you're already there. Not a bad bet.
I think also it's a question of how you communicate the actions that we're taking and the changes in our policy to our membership. And I think it's fairly carefully framed in terms of risk and opportunity, and we have to, and there's no view of moving from our long-term targets in terms of returns. So we have to make sure we communicate carefully and don't scare the horses.
And also we have members who will support what we're trying to do here, so we mustn't ignore that. Yes, there's always risk of losing members, but there's also the positive risk of retaining or gaining members.